Got all the hardware off of these cabinet doors and closet doors, and gonna wash them down or wipe them down good. I've got just some Dawn dishwashing liquid and water here that I'm gonna go over them all, and then I'm gonna go over them with just water, just to kind of clean that off of them, and let them dry, or I may towel them off and dry them. And what I'm gonna start with, I think, is this is the bed. I've got some things leaning up against it, but I've got the bed pedestal standing up on its end, and this is the back side of the bed, so I think I'm going to start painting there, because hardly anybody will ever see that, so when I make a mess of it or whatever, I'll learn on this section right here, and I'll probably move it over so I don't overspray on some of the stuff that's around it. So getting close to being ready to start spraying. I've got to read up on the sprayer a little bit more, and just make sure I'm using it properly. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. Well, I've been doing a lot of painting the last couple of days, and my original plan was to use the sprayer, that Wagner Flexio 890 sprayer, to spray on all of the primer, which is this Stix product, as well as the paint that I've got. So my first attempt at spraying the primer, I don't think went very well, and I think it's probably a little bit of a learning curve on my part. Plus the Stix is pretty thick. It does say that it can be sprayed, but it's pretty thick. So what I did was, this is the bed sitting up on its end. I sprayed this side of the bed, which is toward the back wall, which really will never be seen, and it got a pretty rough coat. It covered it, but it's a pretty textured look there, which is not what I'm looking for. I thinned it a little bit, and maybe a little too much, and tried it some more, and it might have been a little better, but then it started kind of dripping out of the sprayer. So the sprayer actually came with two different sizes of spray guns. I moved to the smaller one and just sprayed the regular paint, which was not quite as thick, on the backs of some of these doors, and got a pretty good result. Here's one that I did. So that covered pretty well, and it has just a little bit of a texture, you can see, but I think that's good. I kind of like the way that looks. So I think that's going to be my plan now, is to use the smaller sprayer and probably just roll on all of the primer, all of the Stix. So I rolled on the primer on all these doors. Just used a small roller that didn't have much nap to it, that we got at the paint store that they recommended. Here's one right here. Oops. So I'm going to continue to use that. So here it is right here. Just going to continue to use that, and when I'm doing all the primer on the inside, I'm just going to, first coat's going to be primer roll on, and it really goes pretty quickly. But then the top coat, which I may put a couple of coats of the paint, will be sprayed on with the smaller sprayer, and I think we'll get a pretty good result with that. Here's one of the pieces of window trim that I had already brushed on primer with, probably a few months ago, and I went over and sprayed it, and it turned out pretty good. I probably put one more spray coat on it. You could still see some brush marks from where the primer went on, so I'll probably put one more spray coat on all these window frames. But I think it's going to turn out pretty good. So what I've got left to do now is spray all of the what I've got primed, and that'll be all the doors and the cabinet doors and the closet doors, the bathroom door, and then I need to get the drawer fronts in here and do the same thing to them. And then on the inside of the trailer itself, obviously going to have to mask all the windows, cover up everything. I will go ahead and do the roll on the primer, and then I'll spray the paint on, and hopefully get a good finish. And I'm going to plan on doing the insides of the cabinets and everything, because I want it to look nice and bright and clean. And when you open up a cabinet, I want it to not be dark. You know, maybe I don't want it to look like it's been painted. I just want it to look, you know, consistent throughout. So that's the plan. So give you another update here before long.